This episode begins in this quiet recognition. Gnosis is no longer a distant star or a cosmic revelation. It becomes something close, something warm, something woven into daily life. The fire you once sought in visions and mysteries now burns in the way you walk, the way you listen, the way you exist in this exact moment. This is the everyday temple, a space not built by hands, but by awareness. Each breath lights a small flame within it. Each moment of attention becomes another spark. You do not need to ascend to find the divine. You need only to arrive here, now, and notice what has been waiting. Presence becomes the new sacred fire. Attention becomes the doorway. And the breath becomes the prayer that moves quietly through every moment you live. You begin to see how the sacred hides inside the simplest gestures. A hand resting on a table, the warmth of a cup against your fingers, the sound of fabric moving as you turn your body. These details seem small, almost invisible, yet each carries a spark. Presence gathers around them like a quiet flame. You feel that flame when you slow down enough to notice. Awareness brightens the moment, and the moment brightens you in return. The world does not change shape, but you do. You begin to sense a subtle glow beneath everything you touch. A warmth that does not come from heat, but from attention. Consciousness turns the ordinary luminous. There are days when you live without seeing this. Days when you move through routines automatically, caught in the momentum of thoughts, worries, plans. You reach for things without feeling them. You walk without sensing the ground beneath you. Yet even then, the flame is present. It never goes out. It waits for you to remember. When you pause, you feel it again. A quiet burning in the chest, a small fire behind the eyes, a gentle warmth rising with each breath. This is the flame of consciousness, the inner light that reveals the sacredness of the mundane. The ancient teachers knew this fire well. They guarded it. They understood that without this flame, the world becomes dull and heavy. With it, everything becomes alive. You sense how awareness transforms perception. You lift your gaze, and light reflects softly from the objects around you. Textures become more vivid. Sounds feel clearer. The space between moments expands, giving you room to breathe. You inhabit your life rather than rushing through it. Presence becomes a quiet radiance that spreads through your senses. This is not a mystical trance. It is the most natural state you can enter. The fire of awareness does not demand intensity. It asks only for sincerity. When you give your full attention to a single moment, even for an instant, a subtle shift occurs. The world softens, your thoughts slow, your breath deepens. The flame rises. Over time, you begin to trust this warmth. You understand that it is not fragile. It does not depend on silence or ideal conditions. It survives noise, clutter, stress, even sorrow. It accompanies you through work, conversation, rest, movement. It burns quietly behind everything you experience. The sacred does not hide from you. It reveals itself in the very places you forget to look. A sinking sun, a passing smile, the cool air of early morning, the rhythm of your heartbeat. Each moment becomes a spark of revelation when touched by awareness. You are learning to see this fire. You are learning to live with it. And as it glows brighter, it begins to illuminate the breath that sustains your life. You return to your breath, not as a technique, not as a practice, as a simple noticing. Air moves in, air moves out. The body rises and falls. This motion is so constant you forget it is happening. Yet it is the most faithful companion you have ever known. It has been with you through every joy, every sorrow, every moment you have lived. Quiet, steady, unquestioning. You feel it now with new clarity. The breath is gentle, but it carries power. Each inhalation draws life into you. Each exhalation lets life leave you without resistance. The movement is effortless, natural. It feels older than you, as if it began long before you arrived and will continue long after you depart. When you follow the breath, you follow the thread of creation itself. The tripartite tractate speaks of this mystery. The Spirit gives life to all, and they move in His breath. You sense the truth in these words without needing to analyze them. Breath is more than oxygen. It is presence entering the body. It is awareness returning to itself. It is the ongoing expression of the divine, repeating moment after moment in quiet devotion. As you breathe, you begin to feel how each inhale gathers the world into you. Sense, temperature, texture. The hidden qualities of your surroundings merge into your awareness. On the exhale, something softens, something releases. You no longer hold the world tightly. You let it pass through you without clinging. This rhythm becomes a conversation between you and creation, not with words, with motion, with openness, with the gentle willingness to be here, fully, without dividing yourself from the moment. You notice how your breath responds to your inner state. It quickens when you scatter your attention. It shortens when you worry. It deepens when you return to presence. The breath shows you where you are before you even realize it. It becomes a compass, pointing you towards the present each time you drift away. In this quiet recognition, breath becomes communion. You are no longer inhaling alone. You are inhaling the same air shared by every being around you. The same air carried across oceans, through forests, through cities, through ancient lives you will never know. Your breath joins you to a vast unseen lineage of existence. The divine moves through all of it. You begin to understand why so many teachings return to this simple motion. Breath is the pulse of the One. It is the signature of life repeating itself in your chest. When you follow it, you do not fall inward. You fall into everything. You fall into the field where separation dissolves and awareness becomes illumination. The sacred fire awakens within this rhythm. You feel its warmth gathering behind your sternum, rising with each breath steady and clear, and the world becomes brighter as your attention opens. You feel the breath settle into a slow, steady rhythm. From that rhythm, a new kind of vision opens. Not the vision of the eyes alone, but the vision of attention. Quiet, steady, unforced. Presence softens your gaze. You begin to see the world without reaching for it, without grasping, without expectation. You simply let the moment reveal itself. This is where the light of attention begins to shine. It is not dramatic. It does not surge outward. It brightens inwardly first, then radiates gently through everything you perceive. You notice the texture of a wall, the curve of a shadow, the subtle movement of air. Details that once felt insignificant now carry depth, almost a quiet intelligence. They meet your awareness with their own kind of presence. The Gnostic texts describe this quality of seeing as a form of knowing. The Gospel of Truth says, "Those who have knowledge are in the light. They are known by the Father." You understand now that this light is not a distant radiance. It is attention made pure. It is the clarity that arises when you stop running away from the moment and allow it to meet you fully. In this clarity, the boundary between sacred and ordinary dissolves. There is no holy place you must enter, no ritual that must be performed before the divine appears. The moment itself becomes the sanctuary. The quiet space between breaths becomes an altar. The light you see is the same light that shaped creation. You walk inside it without realizing you ever left. You begin to sense how attention shifts your inner landscape. When your awareness narrows, the world feels small and heavy. When it widens, everything softens. The same room feels larger.
What is poverty? Poverty is more